Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm just gonna go over another thought that I had today. But first I'm gonna share with you what I did this morning. And this morning started off bright and early. I was actually up quite early. And I started doing the ear candling. And now if you're interested, look it up, Google it. It's called ear candling. And Jimmy and I have done it for a long time. We probably only do it like once every couple years, but unfortunately we can't find them in our area anymore. And when we went down to Havre to that shopping trip, we ended up finding some. So I did mine this morning. Jimmy did his a few days ago. But the amount of stuff that comes out of your ear is astonishing. It's amazing. So we did that, or I did that, I should say. And then I went out in the morning as well and watered my flowers. I had mentioned to you guys that I waited till last minute till everything was on clearance, and I got all of my flowers for $20. So I was really happy about that. I'm not one to spend a lot on flowers because unfortunately I just think they die in a couple months, and you know, I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars for something that is just going to die in 2 months. So I was really happy about that. So I watered my flowers this morning. And then a little funny story, I came down to come to work, and my dad and Jimmy were working on the car this morning. They just worked on it for like an hour or 2 hours because it is very hot here today, like I think 34 degrees Celsius. And but I was downstairs working and I heard these little footsteps, and then I stopped and I listened and I didn't hear anything. And then I carried on working, and then I heard them again. And I was like, I think that's Rosie. Now, Rosie is a Bichon Shih Tzu, and she gets into absolutely everything. We actually put a magnet on the garbage, like on the door underneath the sink where our garbage is kept, because she's just a garbage guts. She will get into everything. And she figured out how to unlock the baby gate, which we have at the top of the stairs, because our dogs have just never been allowed downstairs. You know, when the girls were home, they had wrappers and food and stuff like that, and they've just never been allowed downstairs. But I heard these little footsteps, and I came around the corner, and there was Rosie. And our dogs have never been disciplined, so I was like, Rosie, you need to get back upstairs. And her tail's just wagging, and you know, she knows better. And it's so funny, at the top of the stairs, Aries is always standing there. He knows that he's not allowed downstairs, so he just stands at the top of the stairs. It was adorable, actually, because he's so good. They're both really, really good, honestly. Rosie just has definitely a personality. Jimmy just came in actually from outside because it is now close to 5 o'clock. I worked all day today in preparation to go to the mailbox today, which is Friday, and it's a long weekend here because Canada Day falls on a Saturday. Therefore, all of the stores are closed. Well, I shouldn't say all of them, but the post office is closed on Monday. So I'm just getting orders done, which I did. I got quite a few orders done, which I'm so happy about. And those are all done. And tomorrow I think I'm going to kind of take most of the day off. Jimmy and I are going to go into town, which is on Friday when you're seeing this, and spend the day together. And it'll be really, really nice because I've been working. It's been a long week. Let's just leave it at that. So I was thinking about, actually it was on TikTok. I seen when I was scrolling through, there was a mom that was recording her son graduating, and she had commented that it was her baby, and you know, she's gonna miss him, and you know, all of the things that you go through when your youngest leaves home. And that got me thinking about what you're proud of. Like, you know, when I talk about myself and what I'm proud of, it might be different than yours. It might be similar, but you know, when I started this channel, it was all about weight loss, and that was the focus, was weight loss. And over time, I've become more than that. Like in a few videos that I've been sharing lately, and you know, why I feel like I have an eating disorder as far as like being a food addict. You know, that was kind of like my life, and that's what people knew me as, being the sick child. And you know, I think we go through life being like that and having that, you know, label on us. And that's one thing, like, you know, I was proud of my weight loss, but there's more things to life than just weight loss. And it got me thinking of the things that I'm proud of for, you know, our daughters. And it's different things, you know. I look at the quality of the person and the characteristics of my girls, and it almost brings me to tears because I'm just so proud of them for the person that they become. A lot of parents, like, you know, Zoe used to say this to me a lot because Zoe was really hard on herself for getting good grades. School was her life, and I can understand that and I can respect her for that. However, you know, I would hear a lot of stories from her saying that if her friends didn't get, you know, 70% on a test, they would be punished. And I have never punished my kids for not getting a good grade whatsoever. It hasn't even crossed my mind. I've always encouraged them to, you know, try their best. Just do your best. That's all you need to do. That's all you can do is your best, you know. And I was thinking about what I'm proud of them for, and it's definitely more characteristics in their personalities rather than what they've done in their lives. Does that make sense to you? Let me know down below if that makes sense, and tell me what you're proud of, you know, either your husband or your son, your daughter, or your mother, or somebody special, or yourself, you know. And what I'm trying to say is that, you know, what you do and what you accomplish in life doesn't define you. Me losing 100 pounds doesn't define me, and I don't want it to define me. And I've lost a lot of subscribers on here, which I'm totally okay with, because that's what they associate me with. They associate me with the keto diet and losing weight. And I want to be noted for myself and my personality, my characteristics, all of those things that make Janet, right? And once again, referring to our daughters, that's what I think of. Like, I don't think of, you know, oh, Jenna's become an assistant manager. Of course, I'm proud of her for that accomplishment, but I'm even more proud of the kindness, and like, she's just willing to give. Both of my girls, they have that characteristics of just lending a helping hand. And I truly believe that that came from my mom and dad, watching them when I had my career and I was working more than full time, and I wasn't able to be there all of the time for my girls because I was a single mom. And, you know, they just have that respect. That is one thing that both of the girls have in common. They have that respect, and they're willing to help you with whatever. Like, if my dad, Papa, dropped something on the floor, for example, both of my daughters would pick that up for him, like, without even hesitation. They wouldn't watch him struggle. They would just do it. And I'm very, very proud of them for both of that. And that's going deeper than their accomplishments, you know, because I feel like that's just so much more in life than accomplishments. You know, Zoe's done really well in school, like I mentioned, and of course I'm proud of her for that. But there's just so much more than good grades. there's personality and characteristics that make up a person, and, you know, to be proud of yourself for even the characteristics and your personality that makes you you. And, you know, your weight loss doesn't define you, and you don't need to talk about it all the time. You don't let it need to be consuming. And, you know, you have to be you. It is the kind of person, and, you know, whether you're kind-hearted, you're giving, you know, all of these characteristics that make you you, you need to remember that that is what is important, and that is what should make you proud. Not the 100 pounds that you've lost, or, you know, having 2 kids, or, you know, having a successful marriage. You know, there's so much more in life to be proud of and to recognize in yourself. And it's really hard to do. It's really hard to do, because if I sat you down and said, tell me something that you're proud of, you know, some of you may say, well, I'm really proud of my career. I'm really proud of my 25 years, you know, being a CEO of something, or, you know, whatever, work related. Or I'm really proud of my kids, you know, accomplishing what they did, and they went to university, and, you know, I'm really proud of them for that. And that's probably what I hear from a lot of people when I ask that question. But, you know, let's think about the lifelong qualities in a person. You know, people don't work forever. People aren't in school forever. And there's more to a person than those things. And so let's think about, you know, that person is so kind. That person is so generous. That person is so compassionate. You know, these sort of things are so important to recognize in people rather than what they've done. And that was just a thought that I thought of when I seen that TikTok video, because, you know, I talk about it a lot in my girls and what they've done and how I'm so proud of them and the things that they've accomplished. But it really got me thinking of like, why I miss my girls, why when my dad passes away, why I'll miss him. You can, anybody, I don't want to say anybody can be a parent. That maybe sounds a bit harsh, but anybody can be a parent. And your child can be unruly or mean or a bully. I'm just using this as example. I'm not saying this about anybody. But, you know, if that child goes to university for 8 years and becomes a doctor, does that make him a good person just because he's gone to school for 8 years and becomes a doctor? Even though in reality, you know, maybe he's abusive. Maybe, you know, whatever scenario is, just something in a negative way, right? You just have to be proud of more things than tangible things. Because like I said, those things don't last forever, you know? And that's what really got me to think of it when I seen that video. Because this poor, like I literally almost started crying because I totally related to that. And I even talked to my dad about it when I drove him into town, when he brought his car out, and then I drove him back home. And it's just such a different feeling when you're a parent rather than when you're a child, you know, leaving home. You're so eager to live your life and to not be at your parents' house anymore. And, you know, as a parent and your last child, because I was the youngest in my family, so I was the baby that left, you know, same with Zoe. And it's just different. It's just different with the last one, because then it's an empty house, you know. And like my dad said, it's like even as your kids get older, like myself, you know, and my dad, like me and my dad are still close, but I have my own life. I now have my own family and my own kids that, you know, are going to school and working and out of the home, you know, and dad is just there, you know what I mean? He's gone from a family of 6 and raising a family and working and all of these things to now, like, all of his kids have their own lives. And it's crazy. And I just wanted to do this video for that sake, so that you can recognize, you know, things to be proud of in yourself, and to really dig deep on the meaning of, not the meaning of life, but just as a person, you know, as you, you know. I'm sure a lot of people, like, you know, with Zoe, for example, or me, or Jenna, like, you know, others that don't know you that well will think of you as the sick kid, or, you know, Zoe the smart kid, or Jenna the outgoing kid, you know. They don't know the deep down person that you are. And I just want people to recognize that. I really want people to recognize that. And I even start doing that in the people that I know, that I acknowledge and that I see. You know, when I go to the mechanics and I see people, and, you know, like, there's some people and customers that I had that are just so kind. Like, you know, one of them even said, like, the coffee's always on, like, just come over. Like, they're just really, really kind and open-hearted. And, you know, those are the type of people that, you know, as they say, like, will give the shirt off their backs. And I think recognizing that is so important. So write down below in the comments what you're proud of in yourself and the qualities that you hold and that makes up your personality. I want to hear, and let's make it all positive. And you know, I wanted to do this video for that reason, because I think it's so important to think of. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye guys.